It's like Airbnb meets Open Table for the restaurant industry.
The art of the elevator pitch has been lost, and we're here to bring it back. After 5 years and 3,000 pitches, we've developed a simple formula that anyone can build from. Who are you? What is your company? What problem do you solve? How do you solve it? Who's going to pay you money? What do you need? Nail that in 30 seconds and you're on your way. How will today's entrepreneur do? Pitch practice is now in session.
My name is Nick Gilani. I'm co-founder of SeatCheck app. SeatCheck allows users to share their empty seats at their restaurant table with people who try to grab a table or seat without waiting in line and meet new people. It's like Airbnb meets Open Table for the restaurant industry.
Now, let's break down today's pitch.
Well, here's an interesting addition to the sharing economy. SeatCheck. Nick Gilani from SeatCheck. And once again, we see this issue. Nick has an accent, and he speaks a little bit fast. He says Nick Gilani. And I know him. He's been to pitch practice a couple times, but maybe stick with just Nick or say it really slow, Nick Gilani. And then he said the name of the company is SeatCheck app. I'm not sure if that app part is needed because I don't think that's the name of anything. The name of the app is SeatCheck. SeatCheck, like check your seat, SeatCheck. I think that's all he really needs. Nick with SeatCheck. He just needs to say it really, really clearly. We're seeing this problem a lot. Most people, when they stand up in front of someone else or a group of people, are not professional speakers, nor do they have to be. But they need to concentrate on a few things, and that's enunciating their name and their product or their company name really, really well. I think what would best illustrate the problem here is a story. It's always the case, but when we're talking about this type of app that's kind of part of the sharing economy, and I'll get to how that works later, I think telling the story or giving some context, for example, when next time you go out to eat, do you really want to wait in line, the long line for your favorite restaurant? Or if you have a party of two and they sit you at a table for four, you got 2 extra seats and there's a big, huge line standing at the door. So give us some context to understand exactly what it is that we're seeing before the product enters our minds. The problem here is really two-sided, but he's addressing it from the side of you're going out to eat at your favorite restaurant and you're going to wait 45 minutes, an hour, maybe an hour and a half, who knows, because it's your favorite restaurant and you like it and it's popular. So if you don't want to wait in line and you don't mind or you want to meet new people, SeatCheck might be what you're looking for. So the problem is very clearly here on this side, long lines to get into popular restaurants. There's a way to solve that. Nick and SeatCheck have created that way. His solution, SeatCheck, it's an app. So if I'm at a restaurant and I got there early and I've got seats at my table, I can share my table, part of the sharing economy. And then people who are sitting in line can look up and say, oh, that guy's got 2 seats available or 3 seats available. Why don't we go sit with him? No more line. So it's an interesting experiment about whether or not people as a society, if we're willing to, at random, share our table with people we don't know. Are we willing to, it's always good to break bread with new people. That's how we get to know people. Is by sharing dining experiences, one great way to get to know people. But are we willing to do that with anybody? It's very different than an Uber ride where you don't really have to get to know them, and an Airbnb where you probably won't ever meet them. You're sitting and breaking bread, eating dinner or lunch with people you don't know. So I don't know if that's going to work, but that's up to Nick. And so far they're getting some good traction. So that's your solution. Who's going to pay him money? We don't know. I think he knows eventually, but right now this is being positioned as a B2C app, meaning he's going to have consumers who are going to restaurants using the app to share seats. I would imagine the next step is getting the restaurants to adopt it, because if you can get 4 or 5 people at a 5-person table rather than 2 or 3, then as a restaurant you win, because you want more people at every table and you want those tables to turn over faster. Now, it always looks good for a restaurant to have a line out the door. That means it's popular, but which is more important, having a line out the door or serving more customers? So at this point, we don't know how he makes money. Now, eventually we could guess, but that's up to him. And if it's not important today, if what's important today is traction, getting hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people using the app, then the money will come. He's got to figure out how to monetize it. But right now, we don't know who's going to pay him money. We don't know who his customer is. We know his user is people who go to restaurants. That's all we know. Nick asked us to do 3 things. Download the app, share it, and give them some exposure. And then he offered us an incentive to do that. He said they're giving away a $100 gift card. To me, that kind of confuses the issue. I think if he had been a little more specific, not 3 things, just download the app. If you download the app, you're most likely either going to use it or not. So there's a percentage of people who are going to download the app, percentage of people who are actually going to try it, and of those people, some of them or one of them is going to win a $100 gift card. That's a simple ask. You're asking people to download the app. When you download it, share it, give us some exposure, that's what's in it for them. That's not what's in it for me. So I want to know what's in it for me. When he's asking me to do something, okay, what am I going to get out of this? Yeah, I want to pay it forward and help people, but he's offering me an incentive. He's offering me a potential $100. So stick to one very specific thing in your ask. Download the app. We're giving away a $100 gift card. Thank you, Nick, for pitching Seat Check at Pitch Practice. We really do appreciate you and wish you the best of luck marketing that app and getting traction with it. I would highly recommend that you try and tell us a story in that 30-second pitch. Give us some context for what it looks like. Who's going to use this app? Is it the person who's standing in line? Is it the person who's sitting at a table? Is it the restaurant? I think some context there would help a whole lot. Now go practice your pitch.